Yeah, I'm not too bad, thanks.
Good, good. Looking back at Saturday, obviously the plaudits have been coming in from all over the place. Do you regard that performance as one of the most complete, if not the most complete, since you became part of the Scotland setup?
Oh, it's definitely right up there. Yeah, 100%. Um, I think personally, bar the first 10 minutes, yeah, I definitely felt like we were in control of the match for the rest of the game. Prior to this, I thought our performance in March against France at home was was probably close to a complete performance then, but obviously there was less tries scored and less points on the weekend. But in terms of territory and holding on to the ball, I think yeah, right up there in terms of performances I've been a part of anyway.
Was it, in some respects, was it maybe top that France performance, given the context of going to Twickenham and trying to get a win?
Oh, 100%. The history, you know, Mike Blair's my mentor. He's coach. Gregor even has mentioned it himself as a player. You know, none of us in that room had been in a position where we'd come away from Twickenham with a win and obviously bringing the cup home. Yeah, it was pretty special.
It's a fantastic way to start the championship, and I wonder how does it now set up your psychology going into this game against Wales, who of course won yesterday. It makes it a titanic match. This one at the weekend, isn't it?
Absolutely, and from the final whistle, we were together on the field, and we spoke briefly about enjoying the night, enjoying this moment because it's so rare. 38 years, you know, you've got to enjoy these moments. But then at the same time, it's game one of 5 games, and you very quickly have to realize that you've got another massive challenge ahead of you that you have to prepare for. We can't get ahead of ourselves, and the group's well aware of that. I think teams come into this tournament talking a lot about momentum and gathering momentum, and we've mentioned this before. When you win a game, or how it can gather some momentum for you, and that's exactly what we've done now. We've got off to the best possible start, so it's about using that momentum back at home and trying to back up now what we did on the weekend. Because if we don't, then as great as Saturday was, it means nothing.
Yeah, that's fair. There's been a lot of talk off the back of the game about the issues around some players choosing to take the knee before the game and some players not. You were one of those that chose to do so. Was that a decision that you made consciously? And has there been much discussion in the group since, given the reaction?
In terms of since, no, there's not been any kind of mention of the situation. We were told beforehand that there'd be a round of applause for Sir Tom and everyone that's sadly passed away due to COVID, followed by a moment of reflection and around sort of racism in sport and in general. And then it's very much individual. For me personally, I'd never taken a knee in any of the games that I've been involved in before. It was never a part of any of the build up to Pro 14 games in the autumn. We never did it on the day. I felt it was right to take a knee. At the same time, could also have stood like many of my the other players and teammates did, and just had that moment of reflection. I feel like there's different ways to do that. Yeah, I don't think there's too much to read into that. Everyone was reflecting, everyone was respectful, and then we got on with the anthems in the game.
Ali, can you understand perhaps some of the confusion and criticism that followed on from that, given the fact that you do see some players standing and others taking the knee, and perhaps is it a case that some players have been left exposed because there's not a collective decision around it?
But everyone's entitled to their own opinions, I believe. It wasn't something we spoke about in terms of, if you face the hacker, are you going to set up in a certain formation or this or that? It wasn't something we discussed. It was very much left down to an individual decision. How are you going to reflect? And I don't really know what you want me to say on the matter. People make their own decisions, and their reasons are their own. And for us, it was, I think, respectful around the ground. The anthems then got played, and like I said, we started the match.
Yeah, I was just wondering, given the fact there's been so much criticism about it, if it wouldn't be better for it to be a collective, either a governing body decision or a player decision that you can maybe explain before the game or after the game, so it doesn't look confusing for people watching on.
Oh, potentially, but in terms of changing what went on at the weekend, I think that's gone now. I think looking forward, if we're going to take a stance and have conversations about it and make a decision as a collective, then that will happen.
Cheers.
Ali, just looking ahead to this weekend, we know how much the Murrayfield crowd can spur you on normally. How strange is it going to be not having that for a Six Nations match?
It is strange. It's certainly different, and I remember back in the autumn, the first time when the bus pulled up. It's one of the brilliant things about Murrayfield is that the bus enters the stadium and goes round the side. Crowds can line the road, and we get piped in, and that's when it hits you. You're about to play for your country and represent the nation, and it's a big moment. That's obviously not going to happen, and it hasn't happened for a few months now. I feel like players adapt to it, and we're used to. Twickenham was a massive ground as well, and we walked out there and it's silent almost. For us, it's all about creating an energy within our team and within our environment, support staff, guys that are on the bench, celebrating mini victories on the field. That's how we drive our energy and our noise as well. But not forgetting who's at home watching. No one was allowed in the stands, but I imagine the amount of people then that tune in and are watching on TV is far greater than what it would have been if people were able to come to the game or go out and about. And that's not lost on us either. We know that we've got a huge backing of support back home who are with us on the field, even though they're not there in voice in the stadium.
Has this spell then made you, along with the records that you've broken and the matches that you've won, but this spell without the crowd made you tighter as a unit and made you kind of grow as a squad?
We're definitely growing as a squad. We're a tight group, and I think with the tightness of the rules and the fact that we're in a hotel, training's just across the road, and you finish training and you're straight back to the hotel. We're a tight group, and this kind of forces you to be even tighter almost. You get to know boys over a period of time. So we're definitely trying to put as much of a positive spin on the situation as we can. And like I said, I've said earlier, it's not lost how sort of privileged we are right now in the current climate to be able to play and be in the situation we are. And yeah, we're certainly trying to make the most of that so that our performances sort of reflect it.
Thank you.
Ali, obviously you didn't get the benefit of Scotland fans in the stadium enjoying it with you on Saturday. What was there a reaction after the game that looking on social media or just getting messages on your phone that really kind of hit home and the pride in what you'd done?
Yeah, and that's kind of obviously first and foremost. We're doing it for each other. We're doing it for our team. We want to get the best result we can, but at the same time, there's a lot of people stuck at home. There's a lot of people that can't go out and have fun, go to the gym, even go training, go meet up with their friends, and it's in us. We're there to inspire and to make people smile. We want to give someone who sat on their couch on a Saturday afternoon a reason to be proud, a reason to be smart, to smile, to suddenly have some positivity if they've had a week where they've not spoke to one, or they've not seen anybody, and we wanted a bit of that in us when we played, and I hope we replicated that on the weekend with how we fought, especially in our defence, and that dogged side that a lot of Scots carry, and we just want to. It's not lost on us. We want to make people proud, and hopefully Saturday was a great start in sort of lifting the mood.
What for you has been the main reason, the main reasons in your improvement, or maybe say over the last 12 months or so as a squad, a team?
Just tightness, I think, and everyone's very open. We're more. We don't come in here and it's sort of rugby meeting. Go home, go back to the hotel, have dinner. What do you talk about in the evening? Rugby. We know each other on personal levels, and this is coaching staff, support staff, players. Everyone mingles together, and it's more than just work. It's more than just turning up and playing a game of rugby. And I think it's a massive change that's happened over the last year or so, where we're all good friends with each other, and I think you put it in a lot more when times are tough, when you're doing it for one of your boys. I think that's the biggest change. The whole not being able to leave, not being able to drive home. As a Glasgow player, I'd used to be able to drive home on a Tuesday night if I was off on the Wednesday, come back into camp on a Thursday. None of that is allowed anymore. So we have to spend time together and just getting to know guys that you've met once or twice, or Cam Redpath, who I've never met, and suddenly I'm thrust into sort of 6-7 weeks of being with him day in, day out. You make bonds a lot quicker, and I think that just adds to sort of relationships and connections on the field, and hopefully performances come with that.
Thanks very much, Ali. Cheers.
Thanks. We'll move on to the 10 p.m. embargo section now.
Ali, you said that previous